right, you. Give it a thunderbolt. Shut it down! The end of the match.
Chapter 14, Land of Sorrow. I would feel bad that we're going to the Graw Bastion to beat up a king, but he is a Diouchebag and has it coming, so not that sorrowful, I guess. Graw's betrayal of Altea years earlier had come as a shock, of course. Until that day they attacked Marth's kingdom in the name of Dolor, Graw had been a trustworthy neighbor and ally. While the Altean army was out on an expedition, Graw struck from the rear, annihilating the Altean soldiers, killing Marth's father, King Cornelius, and sealing Falchion, the Blade of Light. It was a crushing blow. Much time had passed since that sad day, and much had changed. Now it was Marth's turn to descend on Graw Bastion, and face King Giel, the man who had robbed him of his father. Hail friends, and welcome back to Let's Replay Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon. Ugh, trying to record this map has been an ordeal so far. I've so far spent an hour trying to get something concrete out of this, and so far it hasn't been going great. I mean, not really from the map itself. This map is not hard at all, but the difficulty of just trying to get things to talk about is... So the commentary is rough, man. What can I say? I'm not that great at it. You try to make do, okay? And especially for me, having been doing this for so long, for so many years, like, I don't want to stop. But it's hard sometimes when you just, like, you want to really focus on it. And it just comes to the worst. Anyway, that's me. I'm just rambling. So let's get to forging something. I got an alpha I want to oil up, so let's do it. There are some things I wouldn't mind talking about today. Although not much has happened since the previous recording. I think like the most major thing that happened is I can think of that I would like to talk about was Fire Emblem Heroes. Surprise, surprise! Finally has an FE12 banner that is worth mentioning, featuring lots of characters that I'm really excited to see. Norn's there. Good old Norn. Fina. Finally, now she can solo the Emperor in peace. And a freebie in Bantu who looks like fucking Sadler from Resident Evil 4. Like he's going to infect her with the Lost Plagas. It's quite humorous, I have to say. Chapter 14 is, like I said, pretty easy. The front bastion is like not much of a gear. There's like armors in front, and then here come the cavalry. There's a bunch of archers along this corridor that's going to be very annoying because Marth has to go visit that village over there for some sweet loot. This guy has a Fortify, which is really annoying since Fortify has 12 uses. It heals for the same as Physic, half magic plus 8, I believe, to all enemies. Fortunately, he's the only one. There are two thieves here that are going to make off with the treasure that's here, and you definitely want to make sure you grab those. You have plenty of time, so don't worry about it, because they have some sweet gains. One of them in particular will be very much worth your time. And here's Giel, the boss. He's not very impressive, I gotta say. I mean, in general, he's got a silver lance and a killer bow. I mean, that killer bow is kind of annoying, but yeah, he's not that. You think for being the butcher of Marth's kinsman, he'd be a little bit more scary. But I don't know. I think the armors that harassed me in the prologue were more threatening than he is. He drops the killer bow, and since we're playing on Zero Sands patch that has all of the online stuff added into it, he also drops a Master Seal, which I appreciate when Fire Emblem has things that allow for multiple drops. Speaking of drops, this guy drops a Stone Waste, which I'm going to take off his hands immediately. So that's for that. Okay, tit for tat. Let's go for it. Here comes the League. And Geo is like, he ain't feeling it. League of Age, you might say. Shut up, you idiot! This combo is great. I love the script in this game. So many good lines. It's nice that Fire Emblem was kept up this level of writing quality throughout most of the localized efforts. I know people complain a lot about Fate's writing. I thought it was okay. Like the way the script was structured. I mean, not the story itself. We all know the Fate's story is awful, but the way that it was structured was fine. I know people like to complain about it a lot, but I thought it was okay. Let's do it to it. Freaking pompous people like Geo are just the best, right? Fancy that he would, of course, have a daughter who's like infinitely better than he is. But hey, when the apple falls very far from the tree, that tends to happen. So that's Stone Hoist. Give me that. Thank you for that. That is not accurate at all, especially with Jake's only pitiful two skill. Like 2 skill. It's you're gonna have some trouble getting some luck on that one until he starts getting skill. Man, village guy, you need to brush up your lore. You gotta learn about the dichotomy between sages and bishops now, especially nowadays, whenever they have it. Good old snippers and horsemen. The stuff like that. It's the good stuff. Good old silver card too. That's a fun item. Open that fridge. Actually, no. I'm gonna have Daddy Sedgar do this instead, because one of those guys down there has Rider's Bane, and I walked right into that one in one of my previous recordings, so attempts. So I'm gonna try my best to not do it again. So a bunch of those archers there, like 2 of them have longbows, which is pretty annoying. And the longbow guys, they well, it's pretty telling when longbows have more might, well, like the same might as steel. But the extra accuracy or the power from the C rank bows is telling enough, I guess. I mean, I want to make sure to lure out one of these guys to do some damage, so I'm just gonna do that, and we should be off. And with that, Julian should be safe. All's well that ends well. Oh, we're going after Norn. Alright, give her some practice then. Uh-oh. Good dodge, Lind. So the thing you should probably know about how the AI is structured. I only know about this like from passing, because I don't really play the higher difficulties on that much. But the way AI works in Shadow Dragon in the sequel is that enemies all enemies will move first that can inflict damage first. Unless they've all taken a beating and there's someone with healing on the map, they'll go for that first to freshen them up as much as possible. If there's a fortified user, they'll just all get in on the fun all at once. And then the enemy will start moving. First going after units that can prioritize kill. I didn't use aerospeed there, but it's accurate enough. And then following that, those that have a crit chance that could possibly kill. And then if failing either, then they'll just try and do damage. That's not good enough. This should be fine. And then once all the enemies have their fill, if there's more healing to be done from Fortify, or if the healers haven't moved yet, they will do so now. and then the rest of the enemy will just start moving. That is how the way of the world works in the DSFEs. There's a lot more technical stuff that is applicable to the higher difficulties, but I haven't really played that much of the higher difficulty. I think I did like a small like trial run of like Hard 2 at one point, and then I just did a demo of Hard 5 to see what it was like, and immediately noped the fuck out of that. Once I realized just how top heavy everything was, and was like, no, this is not how I want to play Fire Emblem. Too many risks. It really did take a long time for me to appreciate the more, I say appreciate. It's not really my kind of game. It's not really my kind of style of playing Fire Emblem, but appreciating the more player phase focused style of gameplay than enemy face focused style like in the GBA games, because I grew up playing the GBA games and the Telly stuff, and just like those are my jam. I know exactly what I'm getting into when playing those games. That there. Especially when you're just concerned about trying to avoid, just do as much as you can, and then wait for a bunch of enemies to come to you, dodge all of them, as many as possible, like that, and then just move on for the next turn, doing cool stuff. The ability to rely on dodge tanking is a way of life, and it was one that was very much hard ingrained to in my time. I had only like played like a little bit of the older school FEs, and I didn't really think much about how things could be in terms of accuracy regarding FE3, because it's FE3, FE1, FE3 were also very player phase oriented with lots of high hit rates and all that. And I just didn't think much about it at the time. But when Shadow Dragon came along and revamped the hit formula, of course I was like, oh well, shit, what the heck? Why does everything have accuracy all of a sudden? I don't like this. I want to have a chance to dodge shit again. Why am I suddenly having to deal with absolute stuff? It was a nice big shock value at the time. After having been ingrained so very, very thoroughly into the culture of enemy face focused games. But no, there is an appeal to be had for these games, certainly. It just took me a while to truly appreciate it. Like, it's a lot like Advance Wars and yeah, how Fire Emblem Heroes does it too. That when things are absolute, you can account for them. And this applies to some of the other things in other strategy games, including Fire Emblem, that are like enemy face heavy. Or things that just have non 100% chances to proc, like skill rates. When skills activate in Fire Emblem, in the Tellius games, you're like, sometimes you're like, oh well, I wish this would activate all the time, like that way I can plan around it. Then you can only truly plan around the possibility of it happening rather than the actuality of it happening. You know what I mean? And things with like Advance Wars, when everything is just a truly definitive, this is going to happen sort of thing. You can more readily plan around that, and the higher difficulties, despite having extremely high numbers for their offensive stats, it is because of that you can more safely, I mean safely, plan around the actualities of what is going to happen. Like you on say this archer here, like on the higher difficulties, you can tell that he's going to be very much a pain in the ass. Like he suddenly has on like an 80 to 90% hit chance against Norn that does like 12 or 13 damage. And you're like, oh well, I better account for that and adjust my strategy accordingly. But then you're just like, oh man, then this guy, then once he dies, this guy's gonna take his place and then kill Norn, and it's just like, oh no, I messed up. I didn't really have this sort of understanding of this style until I played Fates. It was the first truly enemy face or player face focus game where I very much had to go with that. Mostly to my own designs. The only run of Fates that I did was a no pair up run. And believe you me, I had to restart a lot. A lot during that time, and it was, it definitely wore on me after a while. But I got it. I got what the games were trying to do. I got what the game design itself was going to try for. I appreciate a lot of Conquest's map design quirks. As much as my opinion of Fates has diminished over the years, at least that is never gonna truly go away. How they did a Conquest. It's just like stuff like that. It's just like trying to maximize your damage output on player phase to ensure that you aren't completely crushed on enemy phase. It's an understanding, because man, those enemy phases were like pulling teeth after a while. I'm like, oh man, am I gonna have to restart now because I made this mess up? Oh, why this guy I hit to? Oh, I didn't count for this guy coming in. What the hell? And then you gotta account for the ambush spawns, and it's just ugh. But I get it. I get it. How I play Fire Emblem is just like, I like things nice and chill, like this. This normal mode run is just a breeze. And I'm perfectly fine with that. I can mess around, I can do whatever I want. And there's still a very real chance that I could lose some of my weaker dudes because, you know, they're not up to scratch with some of the stronger ones. Like even comparing Norn to George. The fences are only so marginal, and I could very well lose a bunch of them to like concentrated archer fire. It's just how it goes. You got Thoron. Thoron's an awesome spell. It has high might, high hit, very high hit, nice crit. It is really, really strong. Like as far as regular weapons are concerned, or spells, ain't getting better. Ain't getting any better than that. The only way you're gonna have any better outings with that is if you bust up the Excalibur or Aura. Yeah, like with Fire Emblem, I just like being able to just cover a lot of ground and just have a lot of freedom. Not like infinite freedom. One of the things that I'm not super into about Three Houses, as far as I'm aware of, is just there's a lot to do in the game, but there's also like a significant amount of freedom you have when it comes to messing around with your units and their class designs and whatnot, and I'm not super into that. Like, as far as I know, character roles are like not static. They are very much build your own sort of a case, like in say Final Fantasy Tactics or what have you, where I can I can just like it has reclass to a pretty astounding degree, like more along the lines of Awakening and Fates, where everyone can be anything, and while that's cool, I like characters that have static roles in these games. It's why I rate Final Fantasy 4 and 9 so highly, because you have a lot of characters in those games and they just have unique roles that they fill, and they just hit all the notes, and it's cool. And it's why I don't really like Final Fantasy 6 all that much, because everyone just feels the same after a while, especially once the magic system is introduced. It's just extremely samey. Again, this is kind of like secondhand information. I haven't actually played Three Houses yet, so I could just be very well spouting nonsense, but it is what I know about the game. So so it goes, right? Yeah, I just like, it's one of the things I complained about when I first did my LP of the first LP of Shadow Dragon, where I was like, reclass is the fucking worst. I hate this stupid mechanic. It's why can I suddenly make Lind into a sword fighter? Why can't I suddenly have Ogma like he imparted the Lost Plagas? Why can't I do that? Why is this? The Arcanine games, like, I didn't need that. I didn't need this. Everyone had their own roles. It was good. It was fine. Didn't have to have this way. But as the years went on, I got more appreciation for the concept of reclass. I'm like, yeah, this is fine. I like it. There's just enough wiggle room for it to make it work. And I mean, the Arcanine characters, as much as I love these guys, and I love them, at the time they didn't have much in the way of characterization, so it's just me being super nitpicky for the sake of being nitpicky, and it's just like, yeah. But you get what I mean, right? With the whole characters should have a recognizable identity. They should go on, and when you suddenly have everyone they act the same, that sense of individuality is lost. And Fire Emblem, I kind of want to have as much individuality for every character as I can. So, hey, we got Katria. I'll go over her once we get Kyle on to join the side, but long story short, Katria is very good. And Bamzo! A little bit of foreshadowing to the true potential of the Whitewings. It's all that. So yeah, Pala and Katria, two very, very damn good dames, if I do say so myself. They are part of Minerva's finest, and for good reason. They really do get the job done. Those particular conversations are slightly different if Minerva died. And speaking of Minerva, we have these two conversations here. I believe these conversations can be triggered at any point in time, once they join. How Michaelis would laugh. Alright, so let's talk brass tacks about the Whitewings here. So Pala, let's see. 60 HP, 55 strength, 0 magic, 75 skill, 25 speed, 10 luck, 25 defense, 10 res. She supports Abel and Frey and is supported by Minerva, Abel and Frey. And Katria, 60 HP, 45 strength, 0 magic, 80 skill, 65 speed, 40 luck, 25 defense, 5 res. Supports Kane and Frey, and she's supported by Marth, Minerva, Kane and Frey. Pala and Katria are awesome. They are fantastic units. Oh yes, I forgot. Give me that, baby. Give me that sweet, sweet, sweet gainage. You put this in a shop and the card holder will be able to buy things at half price, and it's very, very nice. Yeah, Katria and Pala are very, very, very good units. They have nice bases for their levels, and Pala especially. Katria grows better. She has a lot better of speed growth and luck compared to her older sister, but her older sister has slightly more better bases and bean lances, that allowing her to use silvers right out of the gate, which is pretty important, especially in the higher difficulties. Nothing like whipping out a forged silver to just take out some trouble enemies. There's another thing you can that's cool about the higher difficulties is that you have a lot of freedom with your weapon choice, especially when you can afford to forge some high-level tech, and then you can just safely do big damage to big enemies. And Pala's good at that. Both ladies are great. Like, I can't stress this enough. They're really good, solid units that you can fit on any team. Like, one is good enough. Like, you can use just one of them and that's fine. But you could slot both in and your team would be just fine. They can work with any team composition. Even reclass, they just tend to work fine. So, some extra trivia to note is that Shadows of Valentia actually gave characters ages, including Pala, Katria, and S, since they show up in that game. Here come the reinforcements now. Starting on turn 8 until turn 15, or until Geel dies, Dragoons show up from this corner where Pala and Katria were. You can block their spawns. Otherwise, you'd have to wait them out or kill Geel to get them to disperse. So I'm just gonna have Minerva get some love here while these two go to it. So yeah, Pala and Katria had ages listed. Pala is listed to be 23 years old, and Katria is 20. And Shadows of Valentia, Gaiden, takes place 1 year after this game. So in this game that would make them 22 and 19, which is older. They're shake older than I was expecting them to be, and I thought that they were for a fairly lengthy amount of time. Like, I thought like Pala was around like 18 or so, and like Katria was like 17 or 16, like around Marth's age. So, since Katria has it bad for Marth as one of her particular character quirks. I really like Pala and Katria. For a long time, I was a big Katria fan, but over the years, that has swung more in the favor of Pala. Now I'm firmly in Pala's court. Although I will give Fire Emblem Warriors some credit. I will give as much credit as possible because FE Warriors is a great game. People sleep on them a lot. It really made me a fan of Minerva. Like, a big fan of Minerva. The way she carries herself in that game is absolutely god tier. Fighting style, her voice, her supports, everything about Minerva is just masterclass. They really brought the Arcanian characters home in that game. Like, Warriors is good, man. What do you want me to say? All right, we're almost done here. I don't think I have a key. I think you can buy keys in the shop though, in the vendor. Yep. I'll just buy one of these, and I'll be on my way. And here's a Bouillon Small. Man, I'm gonna hate it when FE12, when it comes to playing FE12 and the Bouillons are reduced in the price count, because they nerfed Bouillon counts from this game. Small is now worth only 5,000 instead of 10,000, and large is now worth 10,000 instead of 30,000. There is no medium, and there is no extra large. I hate it, because it makes fiddling around with stuff a lot more of a chore. Especially you just can't mess around with forges as much as nowhere near as much anymore, unless you like buy them on the cheap. And forges are like pretty much exclusive to like, oh, forge a bow, so you don't have to worry about those nasty Dracos coming in hot in the early game. And like the rest of the game, because archers are in a premium in FE12, FE3 really, but FE12 is where they really shine. Because archer flying units are a very constant, real threat. And having a quick way to dispatch them without fearing counters is very, very good. But aside from that, you just really can't afford to mess around and meme anymore. I mean, you can meme with many other ways, but not like that. Oh well, it still doesn't prevent. It still doesn't prevent FE12 from being any less fun of a game for me. Because as much as I think they do. Looking back at it now, much as I think there are some things they do that are less good than do in Shadow Dragon, there's always at least like 2 other things I think they do better than they do in Shadow Dragon. Use hand axe here. I think keeps falling on me, the filter. See if we can get a kill for Mathis. Daddy's gonna need to give him a new junk silver soon. And we are just about done with this map. All I need to do is just blast a hole into Geo the Diouchebag, and we're out of here. It's nice to finally have a run where everything just fit and works when it comes to commentary, because after having done this for like an hour and just nothing felt right, organic or otherwise, it's just ugh. God hate. God is not merciful. I completely forgot I had an axe. Oh man, yeah. Another thing that I missed from playing these games is just the ability to not have rescuing as a command option. And rescuing is like, yeah, rescuing is like, yeah, I kind of wish I kept having it. Alright, I'm gonna save here, just in case he whips out the killer bow and pops me. I'm just gonna, oh yeah, I'm just gonna rub it in his face right here. Excalibur, Excalibur. Yeah, until the sequel happens when your daughter takes it over and she does a much better job than you did. And believe me, that is not saying a lot. Alright, clear. Whew. Anyone else need healing? Frey. Wah wah. Oh well. I should probably check out the armory just to make sure they have. Armor Slayer. Armor Slayer's okay. Nah. I have enough. Bada bing, baby. What's wrong, Marth? Oh. That is a problem. Albus, it's been a hot minute. How you been, old man? Oh, that is a problem. As we'll find out, well, next map, Marth should have better had spent his time going back to Altea. But no, it's time to go fight the Supreme Priest of Khadin, Garnif. That's that then. Thanks a lot for coming, everybody. If you have any comments about what I should talk about, or just comments in general, please feel free to leave them below. I'd like to know more about stuff, and just having comments just makes me happy. Chapter 15 is ooh, a spicy one. Spice indeed. So we're going to a desert. We're gonna take you to the desert. I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.